Last time we saw this drawing, I was copying it from Ben Caldwell's book, Action Cartooning. So let's take a look at how to do a rough drawing over it so we can start to do a cleanup. Now, a professional inker that's been inking for 50 years could probably just put ink lines right on top of this, send it off to the printer, and it would be fine. Me, I'm not a professional comic book inker, but I am an animator, and so this is how I would approach doing a rough cleanup of this drawing. And I would start by roughing in the head, because that's got the face on it. Get our circle there, guidelines, and you're tightening up your rough drawing. Get your action line in there, your structure lines. This is the Collie Race light blue pencil that I'm using, just because it's light. I could have used the non-photo, but I just happened to pick this one up. You put your guideline in for the upper arm, and then figure out where the pectoral muscles are going to be. Like that. Collarbones. And then you draw solids around the limbs, so you know what the volume is. Draw your line up for the forearm. And if something doesn't look quite right, you can make your corrections here in this stage. Keep everything loose. Now we're going to get into some foreshortening here. You might want to raise up this muscle up top. The line of action is here, coming towards us. And then we build our foreshortened limb, coming right at us. And then we can draw the fist coming right at camera like that. So one knuckle is going to be here, second knuckle here, another one here, and here. Figure out our fingers. There's going to be a line here for the thumb, coming right around like that. If he's not wearing gloves, then he's got, you see his thumbnail there. And you can exaggerate the size of the forearm going back, and the bicep here. Upper arm muscle like that. So from behind, draw right through that arm, and we're going to follow our line of action here. We need a rib cage of some kind back here. That's very exaggerated. Rib cage forms like this. Even on a cartoony, exaggerated figure, there's still some semblance of reality. And this has to go to the front. His muscles, his torso is twisted like that. This line can come down here. Now let's do connecting the thigh. And that's going to come towards camera. So here's our line inside, and then the line for the lower leg here. The back leg line is here, and this leg is back here. So we need some foreshortening. You can make these circles just to remind yourself as to the volume of the leg. Put your kneecap there. And then we make solids around the lower leg. So you can draw your muscle and then the front of the leg like this. Come down to this exaggerated heel of his foot. There's the arch. He's probably wearing some boots. Now the back leg has to come down this way. The perspective on that is a little bit away from us. So let's make that cylinder like that. And you can do this just to remind yourself as to the volume. And that leg going away from us has to be a little bit smaller because it's in the back. You can bring down the other side of the arch this way. Put the sole of the foot here, of a shoe there. Give this shoe the sole like that. Make your circles like this so that you remember the ellipses, so you remember which way the volume of the hand is going. Move the thumb up like that. And there's a quick lesson on how to start the process of cleaning up your drawing. This will all be in shadow, no doubt. And for the eyes, let's do some cartoony eyes like this. And we'll kind of stay with Ben's mouth that he did. Show some teeth there. And if you need to put hair, so there's the beginning of how to do your superhero cleanup. And next time we will do the dark lines on top of this. So in the meantime, keep drawing, and we'll see you next episode.